Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss Unit 5 in the subject called Gender Sensitization, and the title of the unit is Gender Coexistence. And we are also going to discuss some of the important questions. So the video will be in the form of some of the question and answers. So So the topics we are going to discuss in this unit are, the first one is just relationships, being together as equals. And we are going to study the case study of Mary Kom and her husband, Onler. Next, we are going to discuss love and acid just do not mix. This is an episode of Lakshmi, an acid attack victim. And next, we are going to discuss Emma Watson's speech in the United Nations General Assembly. Then the third issue we are going to discuss is love letters. So there is a social reformer, Savitri Bai, and her three unusual love letters she has written to her husband. And they are unlike the common or the conventional love letters. Next, we are going to discuss mothers and fathers, under which we are going to study Gogu Shamala's story, Madhiga Badaya and Margaret Mead's report, Havel's Cable's advertisement, Tanishq Jewelers ad about changing trends, and the Queen movie. Then we discuss in the end about Rosa Parks, The Brave Heart. Then in the end, we are going to discuss a very important issue of Rosa Parks, again a social reformer who fought against racism, who fought against the discrimination regarding racism, and she is described as the brave heart. Let us begin. So we are going to discuss the first question. Describe how Mary and Onler break away stereotypes and the pressures on men and women to fit into distinct feminine and masculine roles. We are all guided by the roles prescribed by the society. The society has given us some molds so that we have to fit into those molds. So if we try to go away from those molds, we are trying to counter socialize. So let us see how this couple has really gone for counter socializing. So the real life heartwarming story of Mary Com and Onler is a wonderful example of friendship. Friendship, love, commitment, support, and desire to pursue goals, dreams, and passion. The reality is far from what is shown in movies or projected by media. Violence and desire to dominate are never the traits of true love. Mary and Onler break away stereotypes and pressures on men and women to fit into distinct feminine and masculine roles. Mary Kom is a woman of substance, self-made, dedicated to her chosen field, and has won laurels for India. She participated in 16 boxing competitions and won all the 16 championships. A five-time world boxing champion, she is the only woman boxer to have won a medal in each of the world championships. Daughter, wife, mother of three, Mary Kom has always been her own person, with a dream that grows bigger with every success. And how do you think this was possible? Only because of her husband's cooperation. So that is the real relationship between a man and a woman, and a husband and a wife. See, they are not fitting into the gender stereotypic roles which are given by the society. Like men have to go out and earn money, and the women have to be confined to the four walls of the kitchen. No. Here it is totally a contradictory. They are going to a counter socialize the stereotypes. Let us continue. She defied all odds to reach the top of this incredible journey. She shares a great partnership based on trust, sharing, and understanding with her husband Onler, who has been her pillar of support. Her relationship with Onler was one that developed slowly. Mary was passionate about boxing and felt quite de-stressed and relaxed in Onla's company. At first, Onla was only concerned about helping her. He saw her problems and how she was struggling single-handedly since her parents lived in the village. As a woman boxer, Mary had to cross many hurdles. Anla was a great companion whom she could rely on and concentrate on her demanding career. He encouraged and consoled Mary in all aspects of her personal and professional life. He did everything, be it kitchen work, raising three children, attending weddings, or even at the time of their son's heart surgery. Mary is a career woman while Onler runs the house and fulfills social obligations like visiting ailing relatives or attending funerals. He takes care of the family at home. The wonderful relationship they shared with mutual respect and understanding has kept their marriage peaceful. This is how a marriage will be successful in the life. Otherwise, if there are disturbances, differences of opinion, many families believe in these roles to be played by men and women separately. Men only are the earning members, and even if the women are working also, they only have to take care of the children. They only have to take care of the elders sick and attend the other functions and fulfill other obligations of the family. That is how it is believed. But here we see that this couple has broken away all those stereotypes. Such a wonderful experience. Even we can enjoy that kind of lifestyle. Now the next question, love, acid, just do not mix. Now this is totally contradictory to what we have studied up till now. Do you agree that Lakshmi's story teaches us the value of consent? Describe the story of Lakshmi, an acid attack survivor. So the next question is from the next subtitle, Love and Acid Just Do Not Mix. Do you agree that Lakshmi's story teaches us the value of consent? Or it can be in this way also. Describe the story of Lakshmi, an acid attack survivor. So Lakshmi's story teaches us the value of consent in human life. We have to remember that whether it is tea or love or sex, consent is everything. Every time we offer tea to our guests, we ask whether they are interested to have tea. If they say no, we take it seriously and we do not force them. We do not force tea on them. We just let them be. To our surprise, here we come across a 16-year-old Delhi-based girl, Lakshmi, who was thrown acid on her face just because she turned down a marriage proposal from a man twice her age. Angry and humiliated, the man plotted a terrible revenge on the girl whom he had claimed to love. Uh, okay. Since the attack, Lakshmi has undergone 7 surgeries and has yet to fully recover. The attack left her physically and emotionally scarred. Probably that was the attacker's intention, to make her suffer and as an outcast to be avoided by the rest of the society. That could be his expectation, because she turned down his offer. However, through all the pain, Lakshmi struggled to find meaning and purpose in life. She became active in anti-acid campaigns. In the course of her activism, she met Kanpur-based social activist Alok Dikshit, who runs a campaign on social media against attacks. And the title of the social media is Spot of Shame. Alok was bowled over by Lakshmi's spirit and courage. Unlike the other victims who shy away from society and usually move about with covered faces, Lakshmi moved freely with an open face. He saw a fighter in her and gradually fell in love with her. Lakshmi and Alok now together run the Stop Acid Attacks campaign. That is how she bounced back. She was able to bounce back from her ordeal or from her tragedy with the help and with the cooperation of another person, Alok Dikshit. So this unit talks about just relationships, nothing else. And the next question, Emma Watson believes that men are as much imprisoned by gender stereotypes as women are. Justify the statement. Or it can be in this way also. If men don't need to control, women won't have to be controlled. Explained according to Emma Watson's speech on gender equality. And don't worry about that abbreviation here, HVSRAS. I will tell you later. Let us move on. In September 2014, British actor and Goodwill Ambassador for UN Women, Emma Watson, who is also a leading actress, model, and activist, talks about equality and justice. She gave a smart, important, and moving speech about gender inequality and how to fight it. In doing so, she launched the He for She campaign, which aims to get men and boys to join the feminist fight for gender equality. In the speech, she mentioned that men are as much imprisoned by gender stereotypes as women are. They too are victims, they too are the victims of negative socialization. Emma Watson made an important point that in order to achieve gender equality, harmful and destructive stereotypes of masculinity and behavioral expectations for boys and men should be changed. She said, feminism is not about hating men, but about the shared commitment to creating spaces where men and women have same respect. Men and women should be paid equally at the workspace. And women should be able to make decisions regarding their choices and their bodies in the way the dresses they want to wear, their appearances they want to look like, and all. They should be involved in policy making decisions concerning women. So here she talks about both the men and the women. Men should not be imprisoned. Like, what are the stereotypes men suffer from? Men should be muscular, they have to have a macho man bodies, they have to be aggressive, they have to be strong, and they have to take care of the entire family, go out and work and earn for the family. They should not cry, they should not have any emotions to be expressed on. So all these stereotypes are a kind of imprisonment to the men. In the same way, even women should enjoy the rights of looking, I mean, in whatever way they want to appear, in whatever dresses they want to wear, that choices must be given to the women. So finally, she wants to say that they should not be fixed in the molds given by the society. There should not be any forcible enforcement of these stereotypes on the men. She is of the opinion that if men don't have to be aggressive and women won't be compelled to be submissive. If men do not feel the need to control, women won't have to be controlled. Both men and women must feel strong, and gender must be seen as a spectrum instead of two sets of opposing deals. Men need to set themselves free from the stereotypes associated with ideas of men and masculinity to achieve a just and equal society for all. So here she feels that men have to liberate themselves from these stereotypes, and then they should not think about controlling women. If this perspective is removed, and the society or the world becomes a happier place to live in all. So the men and women should not be treated as just a binary or only two forms of human beings. There are n number of forms of human beings, and then we should not stick to the binary, but we should be able to think about the spectrum of existence. That's what she feels through this campaign, He for She. If you look at that abbreviation HVSRS, this is an important study skill I would like to share with you all. So when you are learning long essays and all, you will be dividing it into paragraphs, and every paragraph will be having a kind of topic within embedded within the paragraph. If you take the first paragraph, it is about He for She campaign. So the first letter H stands for He for She. Next, V stands for victims, and S stands for same respect, and A for aggressive, and S for submissive. So that is how you remember. If you remember these 6 letters HVSRRAS, then it will be easy for you to remember the paragraphs about what they are talking, and then you will be able to write the answer without forgetting the important points. So this is one of the study skills we can just follow, so that we will our memory really helps us in the examinations. Next question. Describe the features of Emma Watson's He for She campaign. So, British actor Emma Watson was appointed UN Women Goodwill Ambassador in July 2014. The accomplished actor, humanitarian, and recent graduate of Brown University will dedicate her efforts towards the empowerment of young women and will serve as an advocate for United Nations Women's He for She campaign in promoting gender equality. On September 2014, British actor and Goodwill Ambassador for UN Women, Emma Watson gave a smart, important, moving speech about gender inequality and how to fight it. In doing so, she launched the He for She initiative, which aims to get men and boys to join the feminist fight for gender equality. He for She is an innovation for men and people of all genders to stand in solidarity with women to create a bold, visible, and united force for gender equality. The men of He for She aren't on the sidelines. So she wanted all the men also to be involved in this kind of campaign. And she strongly believes that men are also imprisoned in these stereotypes. Like men are expected to be strong, muscular, like macho men, and aggressive, and to take care of everything. They cannot cry. They should not show the emotions up. So all these stereotypes, they feel imprisoned. So she feels that they need some kind of liberation from all these kind of stereotypes. So in other way, even this he for she campaign is useful for the men also equally. He for She is an invitation for men and people of all genders to stand in solidarity with women to create a bold, visible, and united force for gender equality. Both men and women should feel free to be sensitive. Both men and women should feel free to be strong. It is time that we all perceive gender on a spectrum, not as two opposing sets of ideals. If we stop defining each other by what we are not and start defining ourselves by what we are, we can all be freer, and this is what He for She is about. It is about freedom. Emma Watson wants men to take up this mantle so their daughters, sisters, and mothers can be free from prejudice, but also their sons will have permission to be vulnerable and human too, and reclaim those parts of themselves they abandoned, and in doing so, be a more true and complete version of themselves. Hence, he for she benefits men too. So clearly, she says it's not a binary. We should not think about men and women only. These are the two kinds of beings exist. No, there are many kinds of beings. There are many identities of genders are there. So that is called as the spectrum. So let us identify the spectrum and let us liberate ourselves from these kind of shackles. That's what she says. Even the men also have problems. So let all of us come out of this stereotypical prison, she says. Then question 4. Write about the issues that Savitribai discusses with her husband Jyotiba Phule in the love letters. Savitribai's letters to Jyotirao Phule are expressive of her deep and abiding love for her life partner, concern for the people at large, abiding affection for fellow humans, revolt against injustice, anger against the casteist mindset, and yearning for an egalitarian society. These letters display her lofty ideological consciousness and thinking. A bare reading of the letters would reveal how the pain and misery of fellow human beings moved her deeply and how she was ready to go to any extent to provide succor to them. So she is also the first woman to think about the women's welfare, and she's the first woman in India who built schools, separate school for girls. And then she also fought against the social evil called untouchability. There is a custom in a Hindu religion that some people who are born into a so-called lower caste are treated as untouchables. So she was the one who tried to reform that kind of evil. So Savitribai Phule, when she got married, she has to go to her mother's place to get cured from some ailment. That time she writes letters to her husband, free letters, and those letters have become nationwide popular because they are not conventional love letters or any letters written between a husband and wife. They are unusual. So, Savitribai Phule's letters demonstrate her concerns for society, love for humanity, revolt against injustices, anger against the casteist mindset, and hope for building an egalitarian society. In the opening paragraph of the first letter, Savitribai talks about her illness and tells Jyotirao about how her brother devotedly looked after her. In this, she refers to her brother's affection. Talking about her brother, Savitribai writes, in my parental home, my brother and I have often discussed your work, that means her husband's work. One day, my brother told me, you and your husband have rightly been excommunicated because both of you serve the untouchables. So they belong to the higher caste, and when she is thinking about the lower caste, the first person to protest was her own brother. She said, that is the reason you and your husband were excommunicated from the society. The society has banned them. In the letter, she also mentions the great impact she has on her brother and mother and how she could transform her brother's ideologies about the untouchables. Finally, she is successful in transforming her brother's ideologies. In the second letter, she describes how she had saved a young couple from honor killing just because they wanted to get married despite belonging to different communities. So both the young people, they belong to different communities and they fall in love and they wanted to get married, but the villagers were very angry. This is pre-independent era. So these are the social norms prevalent that time. Not only that those days, even now we come across these kind of states of mind or ideologies still prevalent among the societies. So the third letter was a heart-rending account of a famine that had devastated western Maharashtra. She also gives an account of how the Satyashodak Samaj was trying to help the famine victims. So the three letters written by Savitribai to Jyotiba Phule are historical documents which tell us about contemporary society, the life and works of Phule couple and their beautiful relationship. So it's not the conventional relationship which we come to know in the movies, in the media and all. So this is totally an unconventional and unusual relationship they shared with. Then the fifth question, analyze the contribution of Rosa Parks in the struggle to end racial discrimination. Or the question also can be like, who is Rosa Parks? Why is she called the Brave Heart? So Rosa Parks was a civil rights activist in the US who refused to surrender her bus seat to a white passenger, spurring the Montgomery boycott and other efforts to end segregation. As a child, Rosa was exposed to the realities of segregation. She walked to school daily because the elementary school system did not allow black students to ride on the bus. One day, as she was returning home from work, the bus driver ordered her to give up her seat on a public bus to a white man. This incident sparked a 381-day Montgomery bus boycott that helped launch nationwide efforts to end segregation of public facilities. It galvanized the civil rights movement in the United States, which became the largest boycott in the American history. 17,000 black people in Montgomery walked to work or took lifts from the very small owning population for 381 days. Almost the entire African American population of Montgomery, Alabama, including leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks, refused to ride on segregated buses, a turning point in the American civil rights movement. So she refused to give up her seat. The boycott ended when the Supreme Court ruled that segregation on city buses was unconstitutional, and as a result, the city of Montgomery had no choice but to lift the law. This happened in the 1950s, and she was the one who started the movement, which became the nationwide. The entire America was affected with her movement. So it was a boycott of public transport, and they have to surrender. They have to give in. The government has to give in. But even till today, we find that kind of racial discrimination, the discrimination between black and white people. Explain the typology of romance, the hero and the heroine as they are presented in the movies. So typology of romance as they are presented in the movies are three types. First one, it's called as a one-sided romance. Like the hero follows the heroine, teases and harasses her and does not give up till she says yes. This is how it is portrayed in the movies. Okay, as if the women enjoy it. Actually, in reality, the women do not enjoy if they do not like the person. But here it is taken for granted that heroine has to oblige the hero when he teases her, harasses her, and does not give up till she says yes. By some means, here the hero sees that she says yes. That is how it. But in reality, it doesn't happen. There are cases where women have to leave their workplaces, women have to change the bus routes or the train routes or leave the schools or colleges and go to new places because they could not withstand this kind of stalking when they come and they follow the people. That is called as stalking. So in the movies, it is shown as if the people enjoy, but in reality, the women do not enjoy. The second type of typology is blackmail romance. The actor threatens to commit suicide if the person he or she likes does not return his or her love. So in both the ways it happens. The hero climbs a long, tall tower, and from there he threatens her. I'm going to jump down and kill myself if you don't say yes to my love. And finally, the heroine says yes. How stupidity it is. What a stupidity it is. Then the third type of typology is gratitude romance. The heroine is rescued by the macho hero from the harassers and the rapists, and she's so grateful to him, she falls in love immediately. So, if at all anybody rescues, it doesn't mean that they should fall in love with them and marry them. But here in the movies, they show that they all follow it. So, and in almost every movie, women are shown as just pretty dolls with no character, intelligence, or individuality. Heroines are presented as glamorous dolls with no aim in life but only to win the attention of the hero. Films do not seem to present women that have individual goals and desires, that they are real persons with different tastes and attitudes. The hero is presented as aggressive, demanding, and keeps chasing and stalking the woman, harassing her in the name of love, although the woman does not like it. So this is how the typology of romance highlighted and projected in the movies. Thanks for watching, and please do not forget to like, share and subscribe if you have really found this video useful for you all. See you all in the next video. Bye bye. Take care.